Hi, Jared Dennis here with episode 29 from Success Council. One thing that almost everyone agrees on is we need government to have a police force. Without it, poor people unable to pay for private security would be vulnerable to predators and never receive any justice. But is that true? We are all familiar with those wealthy enough to live in gated communities or businesses paying for private security because the police force is just not that efficient. It would be interesting to see just how successful a competitive free market security industry would be if the funds that are presently taken from us and dedicated to the government solution were available. The problem, some say, is that poor people would not be able to afford police protection and their neighborhoods would turn into war zones. Well, an interesting case study has emerged from Detroit. The government-funded police force in Detroit has literally thrown their hands up in the air and issued a public statement to anyone traveling to Detroit that they enter the city at their own risk because it's so dangerous.
Right now, Detroit police are warning sports fans and anyone else who comes to the city that Detroit is a danger zone.
Detroit police officers putting the public on alert, saying when you come to Detroit, you enter at your own risk.
People in poor neighborhoods have terrible police service anyway. If you're brave enough to enter the slums of New York, Watts, Los Angeles, or any of the thousands of poverty-stricken neighborhoods across the planet, ask them how satisfied they are with the protection offered by government police forces. Lest we forget Rodney King.
The three police officers facing felony criminal charges were among a group of 15 who stopped a 25-year-old black man last Saturday night, then beat him, kicked him, and clubbed him, unaware that an amateur photographer was recording the incident on videotape.
But even despite the horrific economy in Detroit, with 60% of the children living in poverty, a free market security force is providing a far better service than the government ever could.
In February of 2012, I posted a write-up to copblock.org titled, "Frustrated, Detroit Residents Compete with Police." Included in the story was a picture of Dale Brown, founder of the Threat Management Center.
My name is Dale Brown, founder of the Threat Management Center, located in Detroit. What Threat Management Center represents in general is how to properly manage human threats to create the most nonviolent outcome possible. We constantly recruit. We're a performance-based organization. Our bodyguard program, which is called VIPER, stands for Violence Intervention Protective Emergency Response System. The foundation for its success is in the fact that the individuals that are in our organization, in order to participate, have to be altruistic. Our lifeblood of this organization is having people that are really talented, really motivated, and highly skilled by constantly training them. And those people that do not want to train or are not good enough are replaced by better people. We are not looking for people, and we do not accept people who are human predator oriented. So people that like to fight or people that like to shoot people. A lot of times guys come back from the military organizations, and I have to be careful because we're not looking for the kind of mindset that says, you know what, it's okay to use violence as long as you can legally explain it. We're looking for people that don't want to use violence under any conditions. What we emphasize is 100 ways in a situation which would normally be fatal force oriented, 100 ways to not have a violent or fatal incident take place. We perform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We protect communities here in Detroit, upscale communities like Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, and the golf course. We have approximately 1,000 homes that depend on us for safety, responding to them and their families and their emergencies. And we have approximately 500 businesses that are our clients as well. And then the people that cannot afford our services, we help them for free. The reason that we can do that is because there is a healthy profit margin left over from excellence from providing for our major corporations. We offer free training to families. We call it Free Family Friday. Typically, the prosecutor's offices, the shelters in the area for domestic violence victims, stalking victims are sent to us for assistance. We protect them for free. We escort them to court. If they have a violent ex-husband or boyfriend or neighbor or some stranger that's coming after them, we will literally stay with them, transport their kids to school. We stay with them at their homes with our rifles and keep them alive. And in 20 years, none of us have had a court date, and more importantly, none of us have been killed. And the most important, no one who's ever come to us for help in 20 years has ever been injured or killed after coming to this organization. Like a first aid kit, something you should have, but not something you should depend on. When they have an option to not injure someone, often they would choose that had their training system given that to them. And so that's one of the things we do is try to fill a person's toolbox, thinking of their mental toolbox as the toolbox that you go around answering all your questions with. We make sure that in that toolbox are so many options to create a nonviolent outcome that it's almost impossible to have violence.
Inspiring to see, isn't it? Their website goes on to reveal that they offer a ton of free services to the community, like escorting the elderly to and from medical appointments or shopping trips. They also offer free security to victims of domestic violence, stalking, and threats. They service many multiples of the paying 1,500 customers on their books. But let's just say they service 2 people for every paying customer they have. The thing to remember, Detroit is the worst case scenario in all of the U.S. It has the highest crime rate and the highest level of poverty in the whole country. So if we can demonstrate that the poor people in Detroit would be better off without a government-funded police force, then it certainly would be true for every city in the country. So let's run some numbers. Threat Management Center does not publish prices on their website, but let's say they charge an average of $100 per month per house they protect. I'm not sure if they do, but other business models may even offer different tiers of service for different prices, but let's just say the average is $100. Detroit Police Force budget is about $90 million per year, and they service 700,000 residents. That means that every man, woman, and child pays $10 per month to the police force. Let's further assume that there are 4 persons per household, so each household in Detroit currently pays about $40 per month for police services. If we imagine a world without the Detroit police force, if the poorest 50% of Detroit citizens paid absolutely nothing for protection, and the wealthiest 50% paid an average of $100, perhaps the poorest half of them just pay the $40 they were already paying, and the wealthiest quarter of the population pays $160 per month for premium services or in charitable donations. If we further assume that the Threat Management Center manages to protect at least 2 people for every 1 paying customer, which they already are, then even Detroit would be far better off at present without the police force. Remember, the Detroit Police Force offers no service at all right now. Enter the city at your own risk, they'll tell you. So the government solution offers no service to rich or poor people, but the free market solution services both. This is happening right now in the most difficult city in the country, and it's happening when one business has to compete with the government solution that customers have already been forced to pay for. Imagine if 5 or 6 private security forces were competing against each other. Imagine reviewing them on Yelp for quality of service and price. Do you think the quality would go up in that environment? Do you think price would come down? Now, if you can see the benefits to a city like Detroit, just imagine the incredible savings and tremendous boost to the economy if the safer and wealthier cities around the country moved to a free market security industry. The benefit to society would be staggering. By the way, if you're looking for a business opportunity, the private security business will explode as more and more cities end up like Detroit as a result of the exploding debt government is taking on in your name. If you like this video, remember to share it, like it, and comment below. Next week, we will look at how government programs, even once replaced by the free market, linger around like a bad smell. See you then.